IFAC, International Federation of Automatic Control, is a scientific association with the goal of promoting control science and technology in all its forms and applications. Founded in 1957 as a federation of nations, each represented by a national organism named National Member Organization, NMO, it can now count on the contribution of 50 countries. For Italy, the NMO is the National Research Council, Consiglio Nazionale delle Ricerche, CNR. In the life of the Federation, the most prestigious event is the IFAC World Congress, a congress held every 3 years since 1960. Half a century on, this congress has been held, for the first time, in Italy, precisely in Milan, August 28, September 2, 2011. The Congress was honored by the Special Medal of the President of the Italian Republic, Giorgio Napolitano. The registered participants at the Congress totaled 2,826. This chart compares this figure with the participant numbers of previous congresses. So the 18th IFAC World Congress in Milan has set a new all-time record attendance. Over 100 participants came from each of the following countries: France, Italy, Germany, Japan, United States of America, People's Republic of China, United Kingdom, and Sweden. The total number of submitted papers was 3,629, with 7,140 authors from 73 different countries. Of these, 2,478 papers were accepted, with 5,412 authors. 2,473 papers were included in the Congress proceedings, published in a DVD distributed to the participants and now available in the web. The distribution of accepted papers over the IFAC technical areas is summarized in this diagram. The general organization of presentations consisted of 26 tracks. The main Congress events were 9 plenary lectures, 3 panel discussions, 4 lunchtime cultural events, and 10 pre-Congress tutorials and workshops. There were 341 oral sessions with 2,027 oral presentations, 9 interactive sessions with 446 poster presentations, 10 pre-Congress events with 176 registered participants.
Professor Emeritus of Seoul National University of Korea. I'd like to introduce the first speaker, Dr. Peter Torres. Dr. Peter Torres is Chief Technology Officer of ABB, a global power and automation technology company with 117,000 employees and operation in more than 100 countries. I'm going to just briefly talk about some trends and drivers that I think underlie the different application areas that I will then go through: power systems, process automation, and robotics. And I'll also towards the end then conclude with some personal statements and outlooks that are deliberately a bit subjective, so you might actually disagree with some of them and have something to discuss with me or amongst each other during the coffee break. So we are very pleased to have and there's input here to deliver the rendering. Now, the question is, what is this program? Well, it is by the most practical part, that we were decided to non-linear access is motivated by but the most non-linear is as a long rich system going back to and that the practical theory we have to the practical manifestation, we have to principal factors the topic for today is the renewable cycle, and using this topic as a thread to try and tie together a number of different issues with respect to the control and smart safety. If we talk about everything, but I hope I will be able to give you a feel, a flavor for what the issues are.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Janan Zaytoun from the University of Reims in France. I have the great privilege to chair this plenary session. Our distinguished invited speaker is Mr. Koisaga from Toyota Motor Corporation, and his talk is related to energy management of Toyota vehicle systems.
I'm proud to be here at the IFAC World Congress on Control Science and Technology. Today, I would like to present the Toyota hybrid system and its energy management. This is the outline of today's presentation. Firstly, I will talk about the issues surrounding the automobile industry and why hybrid vehicles were developed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Masato Ishikawa from Osaka University, Japan, and I have the honor to introduce today's distinguished plenary lecturer, Professor Laurent Brali.
Observers take different names: stochastic filters, soft sensors, state reconstructors, data simulation, inverse problems. They are answers to the same problem. Given measurements, which is only partial information, try to estimate internal variables of a dynamical system. In this talk, I briefly go over the general, well-known design rules and give more details on one particular observer, but I shall remain extremely elementary, creating only on very basic facts.
Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome at this, what is called a parallel plenary session this evening. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you Professor Brett Ninnis.
The title of my talk mentions computational system identification. But more broadly, the question I want to touch on today is how might we expand our capability in the area of system identification And in particular, how could we do that by usefully employing recent advances in cheap desktop computing power? Now, the examples and thoughts along this theme that I'm going to be talking about today are...
My name's Peter Fleming, and I'm chairman of this session, and it's my very pleasant role to introduce the plenary speaker this morning. He's Professor Alexander Korzański.
And also, we're interested not only in speaking about that, but also in speaking of the calculations, how to calculate. This is one of the difficulties which sometimes stops people from going on. And this is the backward reachability sets, which refer to calculated for systems of large dimensions.
Good morning. Welcome to this plenary session. My name is Vladimír Kučera, and I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. David B. Doman, who is our speaker today.
And it's amazing to see what has come to pass over the years, and maybe one of the last things on the list would be to implement some of the visions that he would have had for flapping wing vehicles. You can see a few very interesting models over there if you get time to look.
And who have selected a fantastic program committee led by Professor Bitanti. We have an outstanding election, outstanding personalities who will share with us their remembrances and recollections.
So when we got to the Thursday at the banquet, an American called Rufus Oldenburger said, we ought to form an international federation. I'll draw up a charter and you all sign it.
My participation at the first Congress was not totally without some previous background. For example, I was at the zeroth IFAC Congress in Heidelberg in 1956, and I had a lot of head start in research, having been at MIT, then at Columbia, then at IBM, and at Rice, and I happened to have gotten my doctorate just at the same time as Sputnik, which was a big event in America, at least from the political and economic point of view. A great deal of work was done on fancy methods of optimization.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me mention before my presentation will somewhat earlier than the year 1960. The reason is because to understand the development at that time, and so I started before. This is
one of the interviewed died just recently. The reminiscences work according to the transformational mechanisms of the mind. Walking in Milan, we see monuments of great personalities of mankind, still living spiritually with us. Of the many, let me refer to three. First, Maria Gaetana Agnesi, an ingenious mathematician working in the 19th century. The other remarkable person was her contemporary, Cesare Beccaria. You can see his statue in the Ambrosian Library. Concluding, I refer to Giorgio Quazza, whom I've met first at the Moscow Congress, who was a friend and an outstanding example for all of us, and whom I considered, paraphrasing Shakespeare, the right Duke of Milan. That was Prospero. He represented all values that are precious for us: the quality of science, attention to practical applications, social responsibility, and humanity.
First of all, realize that the Congresses are always in the home country of the presidents. And if you think about that for a while, you'll imagine the complications involved in determining where the next Congress should be.